It's time for business news with Richard Southern, and we start with a question many people are asking these days. Richard, can your employer force you to get a COVID-19 vaccine?
Yeah, and furthermore, Erica, can they say, "Hey, Erica, have you gotten a vaccine? Can you show me your vaccine receipt?" Is your boss allowed to do that? I wanted to ask the experts. So we talked to an employment lawyer today, and she says, "You know what? Yeah, they can ask you."
On the whole, employment lawyers generally assess that yes, employers can ask you for that information.
Can they say, listen, if you want to work here, you have to get vaccinated?
So an employer can't force somebody to become vaccinated, but they can make it a policy encouraging people to be vaccinated. So you can have a policy letting people know what happens if you don't get vaccinated. For example, you might have to continue to wear all of your PPE. You might have to continue to work remotely. At the end of the day, the employer still has an obligation to keep the workplace safe.
Yeah, it's a touchy one, right, Erica? I mean, it is kind of a medical procedure, which we probably shouldn't be talking about. But as she says, the bosses have to keep the workplaces safe. So it's kind of a tough one, right?
It is, yeah. Interesting there. Okay, one retailer has quietly been rewarding its employees for working through this pandemic.
Costco. A lot of people are crazy about Costco. Are you crazy about Costco, Erica?
I don't have a Costco membership, but I am crazy about
neither.
Costco. My mom got one, and she gets a lot of good stuff there.
Yeah, I mean, you and me, we're city dwellers. Those in the burbs, right? They love the Costco, and they love going and getting like that guy, the big pallets full of stuff, and the cheap hot dogs and whatever. And I guess here's another reason that many people might be getting behind Costco: the fact that they have made their pandemic pay permanent. A lot of grocers and whatnot, they offered a pay raise during the pandemic to their employees. Some of them have clawed that back. Costco, though, according to the Toronto Star, has made a $1 an hour pay bump permanent. And the average Costco hourly employee makes $23.71 an hour. If you're there 6 years, a typical cashier can make about $60,000 per year. Sobeys owner Empire and Longo's have reinstated pandemic pay, but again, here's Costco making it permanent, and I'm sure winning some brownie points along the way, Erica.
For sure, yeah. I've seen a lot of experts, a lot of advocates praising Costco for that move there. And finally, rental prices have dropped drastically across the GTA over the past year, but we may have finally reached the floor, Richard.
Yeah, starting to see rent prices just ticking up now a little bit for the first time, Erica, since the pandemic took hold. In March, according to rentals.ca, in March, the year-over-year rental price was still down about 19%, but the month-over-month price went up. The average rent in Toronto went from $2,007 in February to $2,021 in March. And experts say that could be a sign now that demand is starting to heat up for those 1, 2, and 3 bedroom units. Experts also say it's possible landlords are anticipating kind of a return to normal as far as the virus is concerned, and maybe holding empty units for longer instead of dropping the price.